What was I supposed to do? Wait another 9 years to keep trying for a family just so that my suffering seemed legitimate to people that I don't even know? I wanted to make this video for two reasons. I wanted to share a part of my journey with you guys because I know when I was going through my trying times, hearing people's stories and their journeys, and especially reading your comments, really put my heart at ease, and it gave me hope and it made me feel a little less alone in my journey. And I also want to make this video for those of you who have been so supportive. You've given us so much love and prayers, and you've just been here for us. It means so much to me, and I just want to share this with you. So I just want to backtrack a little bit and take you back in time to, I guess, the history of my journey of when we got married and how this all just came together. Sally and I got married 9 years ago, and our plan was to just enjoy each other. We were each other's besties and we just wanted to enjoy each other, but at the same time, we weren't really preventing anything from happening, you know, if you catch my drift. And we just thought that it would just happen for us, you know, like you see things on TV, you hear from your peers, or you watch movies, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're in love, we're just not gonna prevent it, we're gonna get pregnant and live happily ever after. But that just did not happen for us. So we stayed busy and distracted by our careers because we just weren't getting pregnant, and we still kept trying, but 6 years went by just like that. Then we were like, okay, it didn't happen for us like the fairy tales do, so we are really gonna get serious with this. So for the next 3 years, we were trying so hard to a point where it was putting a strain on our relationship. Like, we were doing ovulation tests, we were timing when, you know, we were doing temperature checks, the whole deal. And those of you who have been doing that, you know just how difficult it is on your relationship. Like, okay, let's go, we gotta go now and do this now. And it just kind of takes that fairy tale, I mean, I don't know if fairy tale is the right word, but it just makes it so scientific and so clinical, and it really puts a strain on your relationship. Passively, it wasn't working for us, and then really trying and like putting our 100% into it, it wasn't working for us, and it was really, really disappointing. And then we ended up seeing doctors, and this is not something that I talked about publicly because I don't know why, for some reason I felt embarrassed, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about to go get help from somebody if you need it. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting help. It's just, I think for me mentally, and especially coming from a Desi household, a lot of this stuff is hush hush. So the fact that I had to go to a doctor just made me feel some type of way. I think a part of me just felt embarrassed. I don't know if embarrassed is the right word. I personally just felt really incapable as a woman, knowing that so many people are getting pregnant around me and now I have to go get help from a doctor. Like, it just didn't feel good to me personally. And, you know, growing up, this is never really a topic of conversation. So we went to the doctor and they did all these tests, like a million tests on both of us, and basically said it was unexplained, and they gave us a diagnosis of unexplained infertility. And I was just like, okay, well, what does that even mean, like having unexplained infertility? And I just had so many questions, and the doctor was just like, 15 to 30% of couples who are having a hard time having children have unexplained infertility, which is not helpful to hear at all. And it just left me with like a million more questions and a million more things for me and my brain to think about of what's wrong with me. So I was like, okay, let me go Google this. And I went down this rabbit hole of Google where it's like, stress and anxiety can prevent you from having children by like 50%, and like these crazy numbers, or like your BMI, even if your body mass index is like 0.1 overweight or above average, then you're gonna have a hard time. And it's like, you just go down this rabbit hole. And stress is like the thing where it's like, okay, yeah, how do I stop stressing about this thing? Like, it's easier said than done to stop stressing about something. And then it just came to a point where I would just cry all the time. Like, every single day I would cry. I'd look at myself in the mirror, I'd cry. I'd wake up in the morning, I would cry. That's another thing that really takes a toll on your relationship. So it's just all these factors that creates stress and it puts this weight on your relationship all while you're trying to conceive. So we really tried to slow down our lives. And I know for me personally, I took a little step away from social media. I was posting consistently on Instagram, not on my YouTube because I suck at YouTube, but I was posting consistently on my Instagram since 2016, and I just completely slowed that down because I had a hard time waking up in the morning and finding a reason to wake up in the morning, let alone put on makeup. And whenever I did come on social media, I felt like I had to put on this fake smile and this fake happiness for everybody. So it came to a point where I put out this video onto the internet talking about my challenges, which some people call embarrassing, and I'm embarrassed of my cry face, but I don't think what I put out onto the internet was embarrassing. It was just more of a way for me to stop carrying this burden on my chest, and to feel less alone and to just kind of ease my pain. And I wasn't expecting anything from that video except for an emotional release. Like, I just wanted to just let go. To help even more, my husband actually started making some sacrifices in his business and trying to take a little bit of a step back and release all that pressure off of himself, because fertility is not just on the woman. And I feel like as women, we're blamed a lot. And we actually put the blame on ourselves sometimes of what's wrong with me, but it takes two. And because he wasn't so consumed with work and all the pressure from work anymore, we were both reaching a place where we were getting better mentally. Like, we were spending more time together. We got our cat, and our cat just made us slow down a lot more. And we would literally talk about all of your comments. Like, every single night I would read comments to him, and we just talk about how grateful we are to have all of your comments and just how amazing it is to see how many incredible, beautiful people there are out in the world, and how lucky we are to have you guys a part of our life, sending us those good vibes. So here's where it got strange for me. In May, I put out the video. About 3 months later, I got pregnant. And this is after years and years of trying. After that emotional release, it took 3 months for me to get pregnant, and I cannot wrap my head around it. Like, this is the happiest that we have ever been, probably in our entire lives, and we are so excited to meet our little bundle of joy in April. So that was my journey, and everybody's journey is going to be different. Like, there's some people who try, they get pregnant on the first month. There's other people who, like me, try for years, nothing happens for them. There's other people who just make a few lifestyle changes. Like, everybody's journey is different. But I personally believe for Sally and I, and for me especially, like, I carry stress very badly, and I don't deal with stress very, very well. And I think it was a large part due to stress and anxiety. Experiencing all of this and going through what I went through on my journey, and just taking some time to just reflect and think. I believe that as women, we put a lot of social pressure on each other. We need to come together. We need to be more mindful of what we're saying to other women and put ourselves in their shoes. We really need to lift each other up, because there's just so much tearing us down, and we shouldn't be tearing each other down. This leads me to something else that I have been noticing, and old me, previous me would just bottle it up, stay silent about it, but I've learned that it's really important to put your mental health first. And it's just sad that I've had to see this, but this is the reality that we live in. But since I've shared the news of my pregnancy, I've had some women questioning my pregnancy, saying that it's fishy or suspicious, and I just personally don't understand the logic behind that. When someone finally gets the courage to talk about their struggles and open up, and they finally get the blessings that they have been dying for so many years, my first thought is to be happy for them. My first thought isn't like, hey, that was fishy. You're suspicious. You didn't suffer long enough. I think it's just really sad to think that somebody's blessing came too soon and that they didn't suffer long enough. Like, what was I supposed to do? Wait another 9 years to keep trying for a family just so that my suffering seemed legitimate to people that I don't even know? I know I don't owe this explanation to anybody, but if it was up to me, I would much rather not have felt the need to put that video up onto the internet and be a mom and pregnant much sooner than what my journey actually was. That just wasn't in the cards for me, and I'm a firm believer of God's plan and God's timing, and I'm not going to question why God decided to bless us 3 months after I posted that video. I'm just really grateful for the blessing, and I'm really happy that it happened after so many years of trying, and I'm just praying for a happy, healthy pregnancy and a happy, healthy baby. I also want to remind those of you who are making theories about a woman's baby bump that every bump is different. There is no one bump fits all, just like every body is different. I want to end this off in a positive note and talk to those of you who message me and tell me that you are in the same boat that I was in a couple months ago and you're still waiting for your miracle and you're hoping for your miracle. Please, I'm begging you, please don't give up hope. Don't be afraid to get help if you need it. Don't be embarrassed to get help if you need it. Even if it's something as simple as talking about it out loud. I know that was really important for me. I bottled everything up, and just talking about it gave me the release that I needed, and it helped me find a community with all of you. And I think it's really important just to take that first step. Just talk about it out loud. And most importantly, stop putting the blame on yourself. You are not alone in this journey, and you just have to keep hope. Hope is what keeps everything alive.